Hello everybody, I'm Zabilon and today I'm gonna share with you my first ever Football Manager review, and there was no club more suitable to undergo this treatment than my favorite English club, Man United, and there was no more suitable tactic to use than the 4-3-3 strikerless that I have posted in FM Scouts and absolutely love. So let's make Man United great again. As I already said, I'm gonna be using the strikerless 4-3-3 available on FM Scout. It requires 2 segundo volantes, a regista and 3 shadow strikers. We're gonna be playing with 3 locked in positions, and it's gonna be Anthony Rashford and Bruno Fernandes as shadow strikers. And one thing else that we have to keep in mind, that I know already that Man United is fairly capable of winning the title with this tactic, so I decided that I can actually restrain from making a lot of transfer business, and I will try to achieve success this season with what we already have in the club. So let's simulate and see where this gets us. Alright, the magic has happened. We have actually won the title in our first season in this rebuild by 16 points more than Liverpool. Marcus Rashford and Bruno Fernandes in the top goal scorers. Marcus Rashford with 26 and Bruno Fernandes with 20. Oh my, what a season it was. We've also made it to the final of the Champions League, and we lost it to PSG. The final result was 2-3, but let's see how the season actually went for us. Okay, so we started our season with a pretty solid run, and our first loss was actually mid-December to Tottenham away. 2-0, but it was for the Carabao Cup, and as you can see, we actually only drew 2 in the meantime. The most noticeable results here that you can probably spot yourself are a 4-0 win against Newcastle. We have also managed to defeat Tottenham once, 2-0, Chelsea 3-0, 5-1 against Everton, 1-1 against Man City. That was kind of expected. We also came close to having a famous double against rivals of Liverpool, but we drew the away game 1-1. It is although a 5-1 win at home. It was no other than Man City. We've actually managed to knock out in the Champions League semi-final, twice winning 4-2 against them. So let's have a look at how things were going in terms of stats. Oh my, what a season it was for Marcus Rashford. He actually managed to score 41 goals in 45 starts. Bruno Fernandes scored 34 goals in 50 starts with 24 assists. Mason Mount also actually with a pretty solid performance, and Anthony 11 goals. Despite the positives and the fact that the 4-3-3 strikerless tactic helped us to win the title in the first season, we were about to start the rebuild now, because we definitely have to improve the team. We have to get rid of the other players, and we have to find the answer to a couple of questions. First of all, as you've noticed, the most goals came from Bruno Fernandes and Marcus Rashford. Rasmus Højlund, despite the fact he just joined, he was not playing a lot, and the fact is that despite I've been retraining him as an attacking midfielder, the assistant manager didn't really like him in that position, so this was something to think about. And the other thing to think about was our defense, because as you can see on your screens, I first of all got rid of Casemiro because we could get 44 million from Al Hilal, and also Christian Eriksen went to Al Ahly, and Al Ittihad paid us 37 million for Rafael Varane, up to 42 with additional clauses. So there were a couple of questions we should answer in the incomings. Now that we got rid of Rafael Varane and also Harry Maguire, by the way, and he was not in the previous screen because his transfer was so close to the end of the previous season that it was actually accounted for in the previous season. This meant that in the center half position we only had Victor Lindelof and Lisandro Martinez, and I first of all needed more height and I needed maybe a little more pace, and I thought I know one guy that can actually help me, and this was Maxence Lacroix. We got him from Wolfsburg for, I'd say, only 25 million, because he is just 24 now. He is not too far off Rafael Varane's stats, and I thought he can do the job. But I never want to go into a season with only 3 center-half options. That's why I also found this guy, and despite the fact that I've been training Wan-Bissaka to actually play as a center-half, he has 20 tackling. He should be capable to play center-half in Football Manager. We also find Strahinja Pavlovic, and this guy is gonna be our new Nemanja Vidic. He is Serbian, he is 194, he has 16 strength, 16 jumping reach, 15 heading, 15 tackling, 17 positioning, and he's not that fast, but he is also left-footed. Now we have Strahinja Pavlovic on the left, Lisandro Martinez on the left, we also have on the right capable to play Maxence Lacroix, Victor Lindelof, and as a backup, probably we can also play Wan-Bissaka there. Now we have 4 center halves. And the cherry on top of our transfer window is called Victor Osimhen. We actually managed to snatch this absolutely amazing striker from Napoli for the exact amount of 100 million. Is he cheap? No, he isn't. Is he great at scoring goals? Yes, he is. Is he a shadow striker though? Well, this is a good question. He is not right now. So we are gonna have to actually train him to play as an attacking midfielder and as a shadow striker. But I really feel that with his 17 acceleration, 19 pace, his strong frame, and his absolutely amazing finishing, he's gonna be a monster in that position. Now, we have actually created a couple of issues here. First issue, Alejandro Garnacho needs to play more. And we have Bruno Fernandes, we have Marcus Rashford doing great as shadow strikers, and there is only one spot left, and it should go to Victor Osimhen. Garnacho is still kinda young, and he can wait for it, and Bruno Fernandes can slot in the DM position as segundo volante, but Rasmus Højlund, he's gonna really find it tough this season. This is the locked-in positions I decided to go with for the first 4 games in the season before the first international break. And as you can see, actually, I decided that I'm gonna give a chance to Anthony, and it absolutely paid off. He scored 5 goals in 4 games. Victor Osimhen didn't manage to score 1 because he got injured, quite unfortunate, and Rashford scored 3. Now, Bruno Fernandes had to fill in the segundo volante on attack role, which he's actually pretty capable of doing. You may have noticed that I've never replaced Casemiro, but there is one thing here. First of all, we still have Donny van de Beek and we still have Mason Mount. We also have Scott McTominay. They all did actually a pretty good job for us last season, and at this point I know why. Because this tactic requires that in the midfield you have strong people. You have someone that is tall, you have someone that is capable of covering ground. You need to have someone that is capable of like marauding the defense. And Donny van de Beek and Scott McTominay actually fitting quite well in this. So, by the way, Casemiro, is he a regista? No, he's not. Is he a segundo volante? No, he's not. Is Donny van de Beek a segundo volante or regista? Maybe he is. Is Scott McTominay? Maybe he is. Kobe Main we also had in this position. So, let's see how we actually did in our first 4 games. So, we drew against Arsenal 3-3, but we had a red card for Anthony in that game. And as you can see, actually, Mason Mount and Donny van de Beek scored a goal. The other games were 2-1 win away against Chelsea, 6-0 demolition against Wolves. So I was feeling pretty confident. Let's see how we do in our second season. So, in our second season, we're winning the title again. We are actually winning the title twice in a row now, but this time, let's be honest, it was not that easy. We finished just 5 points ahead of Liverpool, and this time we have lost 5 games. Last season we lost 2, so it was not as good of a season for us, but the matter of fact is that Marcus Rashford is still up there in the top goal scorers. This time, Erling Haaland is winning the Golden Boot, but Victor Osimhen actually managed to score 20 as well. Keeping in mind he had a bad injury at the beginning of the season, this means that we've actually done well. Let's see how we did in the continental competitions. Well, it's kind of a bummer. We met Man City yet again, but this time it was in the round of 16, and this time we didn't manage to go through. We lost 2-4 on aggregate, and which hurts more is the fact that actually the second game was at home for us and we lost it 1-4, but it is what it is. Thanks to a 4-0 win against Arsenal in the Carabao Cup final, despite the fact that both clubs had similar XG, but let's face it, we are better. We've actually won, not 2, but we actually won 3 domestic trophies this season, because we also won the Community Shield. If you count it as a trophy, yeah, Jose Mourinho counts it. So we've actually made a domestic double, domestic treble if you count the Community Shield, so it's not that bad, is it? It was a good season for our players, and you can see that Marcus Rashford finished the season with an average rating of above 7.5. Victor Osimhen actually came in second, and Aaron Wan-Bissaka is third with 17 assists. Anthony, locked in as one of the shadow strikers, actually has 19 goals and 15 assists, so it was actually worth it. And here you can see Donny van de Beek actually is top 5 of our best players this season. Luke Shaw, Mason Mount, Tyrell Malacia. Bruno Fernandes dropped off quite a bit. He had 11 goals and 13 assists, but he was playing as segundo volante. He was now contributing more to different phases of the game. Diogo Dalot, sorry, he was doing pretty fine. And our new center half pair partnership, Strahinja Pavlovic and Maxence Lacroix, they both played quite a lot of games. They did okay. They were like, don't look at the fact that they're like 11 places down the list. They both have 7 or 6.99 average rating, so they were doing pretty well. In terms of assists, Marcus Rashford finished with 20, and as I said, Wan-Bissaka with 17, Anthony 16, Diogo Dalot as well with 12, Scott McTominay with 12, and Victor Osimhen with 11. And in terms of goals, amazing, Victor Osimhen, he was injured at the beginning of the season. He finished with 20 goals in the Premier League, which means that he has 20 goals in other competitions. So he was absolutely prolific for us. It was absolutely worth it. And Marcus Rashford this season with 37 goals. Again, a fantastic achievement. And look at this. Anthony, he was locked in as a shadow striker, 19 goals. But after him is Donny van de Beek with 14 goals out of 28 starts. Mason Mount, 12 goals. Bruno Fernandes, 11. Scott McTominay, 7. And Kobbie Mainoo also actually managed to score 4. So it was actually a good season of cheers for our players. Okay, now that we've won the Premier League twice in a row, it was quite evident that we have to make the next step. And the next step requires us to actually win the Champions League and make Man United one of the most reputable clubs in the world. Currently, Man United's reputation is 4.5 stars, which is not good enough. It is just not good enough. I knew, as a matter of fact, that considering everything I said about the formation that we're playing right now, there is one player out there that we need to sign as a marquee signing and show the world who we are, and the name of that player is Jude Bellingham. He is strong, he is young, he is capable of defending and attacking, he is someone that is absolutely perfect for our segundo volante or our regista role. And I've actually tried sending offers to Real Madrid a couple of times, and they were like, ah. I also asked his agent, he was like, are you kidding me? And yeah, talking about that, you see on your screens Conor Gallagher. We managed to get that guy on a free transfer, which was absolutely okay, because he's not bad. He's 25. He's younger than some of our players. He is, as you can see on your screens, pretty balanced. He's capable of playing a segundo volante. He's also capable of playing a regista maybe, but he kind of fits the profile of a player that will help us in this transitional period before we are able to make the jump. Now, the elephant in the room. I actually sold Bruno Fernandes. There was an offer that I just couldn't refuse. It was 150 million, and it came from Al Ahly. And he is now 30 years old, so I really don't feel like he was gonna be the man that's gonna lead us to win the Champions League. So we need to start maybe the next phase of this rebuild, and it was buying young players. So forget about Conor Gallagher. We got this guy, Franco Gonzalez. Look at him. Look at him. We got him for 6 million. And he can do it all. He can do it all. Well, he cannot push someone. He cannot really jump, but otherwise, he is amazing. And with the 16 dribbling, 16 finishing, 16 first touch, 16 acceleration, 16 technique, 16 work rate, 20 determination, I was thinking that he can actually fit in quite easily in one of the shadow striker positions in the future. And the other 30-year-old in the club that needed replacement was actually Victor Lindelof. Therefore, we went out there and we found Antonio Silva. I know all of you know of Antonio Silva, but I gotta say something. Part of this rebuild was actually finding the best in class for every position in Man United. This meant scouting, this meant coaching, this meant assistant manager, general manager, technical director, whatever. You name it. We've been replacing staff members and they were all pointing in this guy. And I was like, I've heard of him. I've heard of him from YouTube. I've heard of him from other people's rebuilds. I don't like following what other people are doing, but look at this guy. He's 21. He's absolutely amazing. He's an A+ according to a 20 judging player potential scout. And he has 16 tackling already, 15 marking. He is everything we need as a replacement of Victor Lindelof. Like, he's not a replacement of Victor Lindelof. He's an upgrade. He is a double upgrade of Victor Lindelof. So don't look at the fact that currently he is just off for the contract. Spoiler alert, he's joining us. And after just 3 games played, it seemed like we're not just gonna be winning the league this season, we're gonna be owning it. And as you can see, we've actually managed to win the Community Shield on penalties against Newcastle. Afterwards, we played our first game in the league against them. It was 1-0 win thanks to a Marcus Rashford goal at home. Then it was Tottenham away, a 2-0 win, and the demolition 7-2 against Chelsea at home with 2 goals from Mason Mount, Marcus Rashford, and Victor Osimhen. It was looking quite well, wasn't it?